All right, what's going on? So we're back working on the Wagoneer today, addressing transmission pan oil leak, engine pan oil leak, and we're gonna pull the valve cover off and take a look at that rocker. It's a bridge style rocker. We're gonna look at it and see if it's bent maybe, because I ran the transmission fluid. I haven't seen a difference in the tick, and I was waiting to do the oil pan gasket until I figured out if the transmission fluid mixed with the motor oil fixed it or not, and I don't think it's doing any good. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain it, change the pan gasket, and we're gonna pull that valve cover. So I did do one thing the other day. I didn't video any of it, but I got the new wheels on the Wagoneer, and actually I had to put them on and then I had to take them back off for two reasons. The back one actually has washers behind the wheel right now, spacing it out. It has spacers, 1/4-inch spacers coming in. The lugs on the sidewall are hitting the leaf springs in the back. And then it's such a tight fitment on the front between the, where they originally put the stick-on weights at on the inside, because they stuck them right where the brake caliper went, or rides at, and that plane on the rail, in that plane on the rim of where the brake caliper rides. So I had to take them back and get them all rebalanced, and they were able to put the weights in a central spot behind the spokes, as you can see right here. So they're kind of stacked. I don't really like that. I took it down the road and it rode pretty smooth, so I'm gonna let it ride for now. If it becomes an issue, I'll just rip all of them off and put balance beads in. So we've already done the transmission pan gasket. It was the crappy cork style gasket, so it was seeping and leaking really bad. It has a new Wix filter in it, a new Wix rubber gasket, and I had to put a little bit of black, ultra black, just to hold the gasket down in places because it didn't want to stay. But we're about to get started on the oil pan gasket now. All right, I just wanted to show y'all everything's nice and clean. We got the transmission oil pan back on, like I said, and you can see a little bit right there of that ultra black I had put just to hold the gasket in place on the pan side, and a little bit right there. Like I just put little dollops in places that it was trying to curl up. And then we got an oil pan leak going on right here, so I gotta pull the starter off, and I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil real quick, let it drain while I'm taking the starter back off, or not back off, while I take it off. I got all that on video.
Think about that.
All right, got the starter out. Now we can get to all the pan bolts, because we couldn't get to these three and the one right here in the corner that you probably can't see because there's no light. But I opened up a lot of room just taking the starter out. Anyways, let me get a socket that fits all this, and we'll start working on getting this oil pan out now that it's drained. take that off. I thought I didn't have to take it off. Okay, so my wife had been working on cleaning this. I just gave this a final washout and finished using up what I had left of brake cleaner. And it's pretty clean, and you know, the gasket surfaces are very, very clean. And I got all the little residual pieces that fell down in here out. So now I'm gonna get the new gaskets, the quart gaskets, and I'm gonna put a nice healthy coating of ultra black on them and get the 2 new front and rear main seal halves and get them ready to install. And I'll put silicone in both. From I was reading on the forums, I think my wife may have found the same post or alternate post that kind of said the same thing. RTV is your best friend on these old 360s because of the quart gaskets and because of the split main seals. And the front main seal was coated in RTV, so there was tons on the pan and there was tons on the motor. So that obviously solidifies what they were saying online about RTV is your friend. So I'm gonna do the same thing to front and back. I'm gonna, on the main seals, make sure they're coated very, very liberally in gasket maker, so that way I know they won't leak, because the rear main didn't have anything on it, and I'm pretty sure that's why it was leaking like a sieve. So got the oil pan back together. There's a couple spots where I really wasn't even getting on it tight or anything. I was literally just holding the head of the ratchet, just going around snugging them all with just me holding the head of the ratchet. And the gasket, that quart gasket, kind of pushed out just a little bit in a few places. So the 2 half rings I thought were new, new rear main and front main halves, weren't, apparently, because they were nothing like what I pulled out. So I had to clean up those old ones and put them back in. Luckily that, I don't think this engine's seen a whole ton of runtime, and they're not brittle or anything like that. They're still real malleable, soft. So cleaned them, rubbed them down with a little bit of brake clean on a rag just to strip any oil off of them. Put them in, coated both of them really good with silicone, just like that front one was. And I'm hoping that that rear one seals off well. And the cork goes like between them, underneath them. It's weird. So the other thing I did, I went ahead and changed the oil filter and filled it back up with oil. I'm just going to say, old boy that I bought this thing from had the filter on there ridiculously tight, because I had to actually break out my oil filter pliers to get it off. Normally I use these spring-loaded sockets to get filters off, and it works well enough. I actually had to go get my pliers for once. And I used a 10W40. I don't know what he had in there, but I'm going with that just to help the lifters, because these older engines I think like a little bit thicker oil. We also went ahead and pulled the valve cover off, and I got a little side-to-side play on some of them, but I think that's normal. I don't have any front-to-back play, which tells me the lifters are loaded with pressure. So I don't know where the ticking noise is coming from. You know, I saw a few different comments on Facebook from on somebody else's post. I was trying to chase the same problem, and they were told it could be the flex plate crack, to rockers and lifters, to exhaust manifold leak, whatever. I'm gonna let everything dry with all the RTV, and I'm gonna come back and run it with the valve cover off and do a couple of tests to see if I can pinpoint a lifter maybe. If I can't pinpoint a bad lifter, the only thing I can think of is maybe the lifter can't compensate for worn out rockers. So if that's the case, then I'm gonna buy some adjustable rockers, which ain't cheap, but I need to do it so that way it don't have a tick and it runs right. Or if it's a cracked manifold, I guess I'll be buying some headers maybe. I don't know. If it's a cracked flex plate, we're just gonna rock a cracked flex plate for a while. I'm not pulling the transmission out. We let the RTV everything dry for a while. I just spun it over till it cranked up, watched the oil pressure build, killed it, double checked all over, we're good. I have the valve cover off. I put me a little barrier of cardboard paper, cardboard on here, so that way try to reduce oil splashing onto the manifold. And we're gonna run it and push on each rocker and see if we can't figure out which one's tapping maybe. My SD card filled up yesterday when I was in the middle of trying to show y'all how to diagnose this lifter tap and isolate it to which one it's doing or which one is causing the tapping, shall I say. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank this thing up from a cold start and show y'all, try to show y'all again now that I got the SD card freed up. So alright, so you can hear the lifter tapping. So the trick I found online was take the palm of your hand and hold it against the base. Of the lifter. Now, back up into these back ones, it's a little bit more difficult. I did it yesterday, and this one got quiet, which you kind of hear the sound difference when I push on it hard enough. Now I'm covered in oil. I'll go ahead and shut this thing off. Go ahead and shut this thing off so I can throw the valve cover back on it and get it out the shop so I can get the lawnmower out. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all that. You can hear, kind of hear the sound difference whenever I push my hand on that lift, that not lifter, but on that rocker. So I did order a new bridge rocker sets, 2 rockers and the bridge. I'm gonna try changing that first before I go through all the effort of pulling the intake manifold and changing a lifter. And I ordered a lifter for that one. All right, so we're gonna pick up where we left off with the Wagoneer. The new rocker assembly came in and I ordered a lifter just in case the rocker assembly doesn't fix it. I'm really hoping the rocker assembly fixes it because I don't feel like pulling the intake to change the lifters. So fingers crossed. Got the new rocker assembly right here, part number, and the new lifter. So anyways, remember we identified it as being that one right there, the second set from the back. So we're working on trying to get that out, and hopefully we can put it in without messing up the arm. Because from what I've been seeing on the internet, it's really easy when tightening them down to twist the bridge bracket and make one of the rockers sit funny. I got the old rockers sitting here, and here's a new one for comparison. As you can see the wear marks on these two are a little bit different compared to the new one, right? You can kind of feel this one's got more of a divot in it than the one next to it. So yeah, they definitely got a good bit of wear on. These are definitely what I was speculating is probably original to the engine. So hopefully, fingers crossed, once I get this changed, this tapping noise goes away. So interesting comparison I just noticed when I pulled the rest of the new kit out. This is the new bridge assembly. This is your stock one. I'm gonna go back with the original bridge piece because I don't really care for this. I feel like this is gonna cause more issues. I mean, look how more robust this is than this. I mean, it just makes more sense to continue using the original piece if it's just the rockers. Got my torque wrench. I got to set the 19 foot-pounds for these, for the bridge style rockers. That one's. I get a little bit extra just to be safe. That one's pretty tight. All right. Okay, so as you saw, the lifter is a lot quieter. It did get a little bit noisier, just sitting here idling, but I went and took it. I just drove around the yard a bunch because it's got that wandering issue when driving down the road, and it's just kind of sketchy. So I ripped it around the yard, up and down the driveway, hammering the gas, and then I did take it down my road I live on and back, and took up to about 45, 50 miles an hour going away from the house. Came back, I just cruised back, you know, like 25, 30, and pulled it back in the shop, and it's almost non-existent. So I think if there was a piece of trash in the lifter, it may have worked itself out when I did the transmission fluid and all that before. I think I do think that the issue was the rockers, because I showed it in the video, but I don't think when I showed it, it did it justice on how bad that one rocker looked. So as you can see right here, I pulled them back out. Maybe you can make it out on camera, but this one, like where the where the push rod rides on the rocker, there's a divot in the rocker right here. Like there is a lip on one side and on the other side, this side and that side. As this one, which was its partner that shared the bridge, is not nearly as bad, but you can kind of see the lips starting to form on it. So I really think it was just a rocker issue, and the lifter isn't damaged. The lifter isn't damaged. It may have been stuck a little bit from trash, maybe, because this thing, I mean, those rockers are probably original to this Wagoneer, and they probably didn't change them during the rebuild, probably thinking, oh, they'll be fine because they put all new hydraulic lifters in it and everything. But I feel like that's one of those cheap things they should have just done whenever they did, is probably change all the rockers so you got all new wear components in it. Because, I mean, those things don't last forever, and I don't think some people understand that those are wear components. They do wear out. You know, they're not, when they're, especially a fixed one like this where they're not adjustable, right? You can't adjust your valve clearance, so to tighten it up if you were to have some wear on it. Now, they do sell a set of them that are like, I think it was like somewhere between It's definitely north of $400, maybe $500 of adjustable rockers I could put in this motor, but I don't see that being necessary if, you know, especially if it fixes itself and all I did was change the two bridge ones that were making the noise, right? So I'm fairly certain that this was definitely the problem and that it's fixed. I do have the new lifter sitting right here still. If it causes more problems, what I'm probably gonna end up doing, I'm gonna order all new rockers for the whole thing and all new lifters for the whole thing and just do it once. Because I really probably should have ordered enough lifters to do all of it, and I didn't. Because I was just thinking singularly, like the one that's the problem. So if it gets loud again, I'm gonna spend the money and buy everything. Anyways, that will conclude this part of the Wagoneer. Just trying to straighten everything out on it. The next part is going to be some more suspension stuff. I think I have bushings for the shackles on the leaf springs. Just trying to work through things on the wandering, and I pretty much have it narrowed down to what the issue is with the wandering. So stay tuned for that as I go through some more upgrades and trying to get this spring over axle swap that somebody started straightened out. So if you enjoyed the video, appreciate y'all watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. You want more of the Wagoneer content, stay tuned. Like I said, follow along because there will be more. Thank y'all again.